What's going on, YouTube? We're talking college sports in the Deep South, where college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart. We're here on the podcast tonight for Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn, where we're talking about Auburn like nobody's business. Let's go ahead and get these likes up, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn as we're talking about Auburn, where here on this channel is always great to be an Auburn Tiger. War Eagle. Now, tonight, in the wake of Jeremiah Holloman, who's been kicked off the team up there at Georgia for some domestic stuff he had going on with his girlfriend about a year ago. I'm kind of shocked that the story has just now surfaced. There has been no charges pressed, but it was enough for Kirby Smart to cut ties with Jeremiah Holloman, saying, nope, you are not going to be a Georgia Bulldog because you do not meet the standards of what we expect out of a Georgia Bulldog. Okay, Georgia obviously going into the 2019 season with a lot of high expectations. Jeremiah Holloman was definitely in the plan as far as contributors for that particular expectation. Turns out he is gone. No charges pressed though, but he is gone because we got to take into account public perception. All right, so that leads me to the next point. All right, so back in 2015, Auburn was struggled mightily at quarterback, desperately trying to get back to the Cam Newton / Nick Marshall days, struggling mightily with Sean White and Jeremy Johnson, just really trying to get a quick fix going. So Rhett Lashley and Gus Malzahn, but mostly Rhett Lashley, went kind of sort of to the JUCO route. Stumbled upon John Franklin, who was at East Mississippi Community College. He also ironically played for Florida State in 2013 and was the scout quarterback mimicking Nick Marshall for Florida State as they prepared for Auburn, subsequently beating Auburn 34-31 in the national championship. Goes out to East Mississippi Community College, plays kind of in a two quarterback system out there. Had some great things happen for him on film. Also very erratic at times though, as well. But I mean, the speed that he had was just really, really astronomical. Kept a lot of teams off balance. Turns out Rhett Lashley went to one game and really, really liked what he saw and decided to, hey, we need to sign this kid. So John Franklin, with a lot of anticipation over the summer, gets ready to come to Auburn. Really, really, a lot of folks were thinking that John Franklin had the skill set to actually fit in Gus Malzahn's system and be the starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers going into the 2016 season. Now, as we talk about perception and we talk about like things outside of your profession or things outside of your craft that can really damage you and possibly cause you to not either be successful or just not be there, period. There's some things that you can do off camera, or in this case on camera, that can lead people to thinking like, man, maybe there's a few flaws in some character, in some decision making. I really don't know if from a character standpoint, integrity standpoint, based on what we're seeing, if this thing is going to work out. Okay, so I believe that Auburn was pretty much bought in with John Franklin up until Last Chance U. John Franklin made an appearance on Last Chance U. As a matter of fact, he was kind of sort of the star of the show. And for those of you who don't know, Last Chance U is a series that probably is still going on Netflix. I actually stopped watching it after John Franklin's appearance. And, going into the season before Last Chance U, I think a lot of folks were like, oh, okay, we got John Franklin coming, probably going to resurrect the quarterback position, probably going to be the potential leader for the Auburn Tigers going into the 2016 season. But when the Auburn fan base found out that, I was one of them, found out that, John Franklin was going to be on Last Chance U, everybody was like, okay, cool, we're going to watch this. But you watch Last Chance U and you just see a lot of character flaws. You know what I'm saying? With John Franklin. Talking crazy to his advisor. Talking crazy about girls. You know what I'm saying? Even on the field. Kind of bad mouthing the coaches because of lack of playing time. Man, I need to get out there. I need to do this, man. I could, and then he does get out there and he kind of sort of screws up. It's like he out talks himself. So when you look at these kind of things, you're like, okay, how is this going to translate over to being a leader quarterback wise in the SEC? It just didn't seem like it was going to transfer over. Now, don't get me wrong. As far as the quarterbacks that were there at Auburn at the time, Shaun White, Jeremy Johnson, I believe, this is just my opinion, I always wanted John Franklin to get a shot. Because when he did throw the ball, I mean, it's no different than the typical college quarterback. I mean, he wasn't no Joe Montana, but he wasn't absolutely terrible either. Also, when you put him in the ball game, it actually gave the offense a spark. Because for one, you got a guy as fast as John Franklin III. You got to account for this guy. So what does that do? That opens up running lanes. That also opens up passing lanes. I think even in the Vanderbilt game, I think you took him out a little bit too early. Yeah, he might have turned the ball over, but it wasn't something that was going to cost the game. I think Auburn still could have beaten Vanderbilt with John Franklin. Even the Georgia game, Shaun White clearly hurt. Why not put John Franklin in? Or even Jeremy Johnson wasn't just absolutely terrible. He had just won a game for you against Texas A&M a year before. I mean, he played an excellent game. They played to his strengths, won that game. So, but when I think about this, guys, y'all can say whatever you want. I think John Franklin had the skill set to be successful for Auburn. I really do. And I think the coaching staff knew it too, because they pushed this narrative about him not being able to throw the ball. He had some efficiency issues, all that other stuff. What I looked at, guys, is the fact that John Franklin appeared on that show, Last Chance U. It wasn't a good look for him. Did some things that displayed potential lack of leadership. Hey, how can we follow a guy that behaves like this? Kind of sort of a I kind of guy, seems to be very selfish, very self-centered, that kind of thing. That's the perception that we saw on Last Chance U. And there was just no way that he was going to recover from that, to be honest with you. I think that's why John Franklin just wasn't successful at Auburn and had some issues pretty much. Even going to Florida Atlantic, they didn't do much with him down there. Guy was a great athlete, should have definitely been a lot more productive than he was as a college player. Now, struggling to make NFL teams. He's now on as a reserve for the Chicago Bears after being waived by the Chicago Bears, but now back on again. Hopefully he will be able to stick there. But guys, when I really think about it, I think that's what did it. I think, and after that, the narrative had to be pushed in a different kind of arena to say, hey, he can't throw the ball. That just was not true, guys. I mean, we can try to sell ourselves on the John Franklin can't throw narrative. It's just not true. John Franklin had the ability to get that offense going, but because of his role in that Last Chance U documentary, I think it ruined his chance from a perception standpoint. Y'all let me know what you think about this. Once again, Kennard Vernon Stewart here on the podcast for Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn, where it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger, just kind of reflecting back on John Franklin III. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and also subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn, where it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger. War Eagle.